Hey Sagittarius, excuse me. Welcome to your March 2017 reading. My name is Dre. General messages, Sun, Moon, and Rising, Sagittarius. Before I start, report channels that are using my videos. It hasn't happened yet, but keep an eye out for it. It happens to other tarot readers. Enable the notifications for my videos. I think there's like a bell or whatever right next to the subscription button. Subscribe, by the way. Especially if this is your first time or if you like the video. But yeah, if you want to be notified whenever I release a new video, I think that should be automatic, but YouTube does its own thing. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my videos, for liking, for sharing, for subscribing, for leaving comments. It's amazing, all of it. Follow me on Twitter. That's down in the description, as well as my email if you want a reading. I'm extending the discount that I started last month all the way through March because of my birthday month, and I'm feeling grateful for having this channel and for having you guys just really giving me, letting me know that these readings are resonating. And I'm hoping to always just grow with this channel, and that you guys can grow with me. You guys had a very interesting reading last month, and I've told this every other sign. Excuse me, but I'm trying not to incorporate the last reading because, the Aquarius new moon I think it happened since then. I'm not sure if I recorded those during, but no, it happened since. But either way, it's just, out the old, in with the new. And then we're coming upon Aries season, which is the new start of the astrological year, at least, as well as the seasons. But you guys had a very tough reading because I was getting the sense that you guys you were fighting yourself. It was like because you had the devil, I remember, in all three decks that I used. And so it was just, you guys are really fighting your addiction to somebody, but your dependence on someone, on something. Somebody has you captive. Sagittarius, with Saturn being in your sign, of course, I always bring this up because Saturn is important. It's just that, I'm only laughing because Leo, that card was in the exact same spot for Leo. So some of you might be dealing with a Leo, or you might have a lot of Leo energy. And I did their reading right before yours. But either way, I feel like reality is just all up in your face right now, to where it's just like you feel like you can't catch a break because there's a lot around you that needs to be, of course, re-examined, reassessed. Jeez. No, I won't use those. But, and even like with other planets happening, like with all this energy moving into Aries, now is really the time, for us to get to a point where we're willing and able to embrace everything new. Not anything, because some of it might be just coming really hectically. Some of it might just be happening randomly. We're not sure why certain things are happening. But it's always important, regardless of, what sign you are, whatever, is to like sit back and chill, which probably isn't good advice, but it's just like, let things happen as they happen. Let just the process unfold. Because I feel like getting angry or fighting against these current changes, or these cards are getting on my nerves. Fighting against the changes and trying to, I feel like the more you do that, the more you impede growth. Maybe that was your reading for last month. I'm not sure, because that was a really specific reading for some sign last month, to not fight yourself. It's all about embracing change. Sagittarius, it's a mutable energy. It's fire. You guys are expansive. But with you guys being a fire sign, it's more like you guys are you choose to make an imprint on the world in some sort of way. And again, with Saturn here, Saturn is asking us to put that into concrete action. The new moon eclipse happened in your 4th house, Sagittarius. The one that was in Pisces recently, happened in your 4th house. So this deals with a lot of things from your past, a lot of family issues, family healing that needs to be addressed. And as I say that, we have the 4 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So all of this is going to be around your stability. And we'll see how that unfolds. Excuse me. So in the center, we have the Queen of Cups. We have the Princess of Pentacles. The 3 of Swords. The 2 of Pentacles reversed. I think it came out, actually, when I put it on the table upright, but then it flipped reverse, so I'll read it as both. Either way, it's a pretty unstable energy. We have the King of Swords reversed. Justice reversed. 6 of Swords. 8 of Cups reversed. And the 6 of Cups. So immediately I'm seeing, for some of you, you are in a relationship with either a water sign or an air sign. Doesn't have to be those signs, but either way, there's somebody around you that I choose to see this Queen of Cups as you because it came out in the center. Yeah, what we have here is a head and heart decision. What we have here is okay, let me try to think about this from a different perspective. Where we are now in our lives, regardless of your age, regardless of where you're at, I believe in fate, but I also believe in free will. Things happen to us that are fated to happen, that there's no cause or explanation or rationale to. Things just sort of happen, whether somebody passes or whether somebody just abandons you or somebody just leaves or you're dealing with a very difficult person. And those things, all of those things happen. Every single one of those things happen to teach us a lesson. And it's a lesson that repeats itself over and over and over again in different situations, regardless of if it's a love relationship, a job situation, any sort of endeavor. I feel like the same lessons sort of repeat themselves in different forms just so we're able to understand what they mean in the greater context of things. So when we're older, some of you might be older. You can look back on your time. You can look back at where you've come or where you've been and understand that, okay, things unfold for a reason. Things just happen. Not even for a reason most of the time. Things just sort of happen. And whether or not you choose to place symbolism or meaning upon them, that's entirely up to you. But it's always important to understand that we can't change people. We can't. People show us who they are in various ways. And it happens in stages. It happens in... when it first happens, we're taken by surprise. Those of us that, me, for instance, I dealt with somebody and I'd never dealt with anybody like him before. But when, our intuition gives us messages where when something happens, it's just like if we notice a red flag or if we notice just an aspect of themselves that we really didn't sign up for. And usually in a relationship where two people get together, where it's very intense and very hot and heavy, sort of instantly, there is no thinking about it. It's all physicality, which in itself isn't bad, but it's like a line has to be drawn in between whether or not we are using all of this passion, all this lust as a crutch, or if it's actually, if we're building onto it. If we're actually trying to start something new. And I see you guys as starting something new or seeing a different way about how to go about things. But when you try to picture seeing this person in it, when you try to picture seeing even your freedom, when I think of the word freedom, I associate it with, or when I think of Sagittarius, I associate it with the word freedom. Excuse me, just like Aquarius. Excuse me. So even if you try to envision your future, like with a person or in terms of, do you see yourself doing your own thing, or even like being able to lead a group of people, or, being free. It's just like, you can't visually, it's hard for you to imagine that, try doing it. Like, can you, excuse me. And if, with this Four of Wands over everything, it's just like, it could very easily be a family member. It could be like, I'm seeing somebody's father, probably a father who's in ill health, or you're dealing with just relatives around you that are probably very imposing. Some of you, of course, are just married to somebody who is, if you're not married, of course, you're like dating, or you're just with them, where it's just like, again, as Sagittarius, I'm always seeing you guys as on the move. Because that is your energy. You just want to expand. You want to grow what you already have, or at least that's always in your mind, is to see what the next best thing is out there. And even here now, I see you doing that again, but it's like somebody isn't pulling their weight. Somebody isn't on board with this. And you can't force anybody to do this, because this king is not budging. Another sign had him, but he was upright. I totally forgot which sign that was, but it's going to be important to understand that all of the healing, all of everything that you feel like you know to be true with regards to just a stable home life. The fourth house in astrology is ruled by Cancer. The Queen of Cups is a Cancer. Some of you might know a Cancer. Or have a lot of Cancer energy. It's the part of ourselves that is entirely conditioned by family. It's the part of ourselves that is entirely, it's the deepest part of ourselves. It's the one that not a lot of people see. It's the part of ourselves that we might hide from those closest to us, even from ourselves, because it's a very unconscious sort of energy. All of the angular houses, 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th, they are. It's just like you're just reacting. Cardinal energy. And there's so much emotional pain here, and so much emotional, I'm just saying, a huge burden. The fact that somebody could break your heart again and again and not feel one way about it. Or the fact that you've even... I see some of you have even, like, through this heartbreak, you formed a tough scar, this tough dignity about yourself, where it's just like, full well that you can't carry this person into your future. And full well you've learned every single lesson you can learn from this person. Full well that the best future for you is one without this stress, without this burden. And it's going to be, it might be hard for you to understand why somebody's, it might be hard for you to understand somebody else's motivations, to understand why they're treating you this way. But for some of you, it's just like, I'm seeing that you don't even really care. You're just like, well, if they don't want to be in my life, if they want to keep being a certain way toward me, if they want to be, uncompromising or just rude or just bullies for no reason, and if they don't understand that what we can build is something that in and of itself is beautiful, because is built upon love, but it's just like you don't want to be hurt again. You're tired of it. And I see some of you, a lot of you, trying to understand that the power is already within you, Sagittarius. It already is. I don't feel like you guys are restrained by anything. There might be like a sort of financial thing here, or there might be you share a house with somebody, or again, you've known this person for years. But it's just, I feel like you know that at this point in your life, it's probably best that you guys go your separate ways, or that you know that it'll be more beneficial for you to start something on your own, or to meet somebody else, or to meet new people, get a change of scene. That might be rough at first, but I feel like if you know what your intentions are, if you know not only where you stand with this person, with your job, with every Temperance, the trump card Temperance, is traditionally ruled by Sagittarius if we're talking about Rider Waite. And what Temperance represents is being able to find emotional equilibrium, in essence, healing in our internal, every facet of our internal being, all of the hurt, all of the pain, all of the anger, the frustration, the sadness, the joy, the love, the bitterness, the resentment, getting all of that in a way where it's like, you don't have to forget about how somebody made you feel, because at one point that pain was really real. You felt it, but what is it doing you? It's not doing you any good to just hold on to it. It's just limiting you. And I think throughout the month, and we'll see when I do the mid-month, it's like whether or not you're going to be willing to release that burden. And I'm playing with this Two of Pentacles because it's just like the balance is precarious. And, you might have periods of ups and downs. And you might not really be sure. You might be, in terms of whether or not you even feel like you should do this. I feel like you'll know real quick whether or not you're heading on the right path or the wrong path. Because justice regardless, that's just like, with reverse, it's just like you might feel like just fate or karma is working against you. And upright is working more in your favor. But it's just like you have to remain as diligent, as determined and focused as possible on what kind of true love you actually want, what sort of healing you want to bring into your life, because you guys have heard enough. And I feel like now, or if you haven't reached it now, you're getting very close to the point where just like, you know what, I'm tired of it. You're going to throw your hands up in the air. Because I feel like if you guys are still holding on to this hurt, still holding on to this pain, refusing to actually let something die, refusing to see a part of yourself that needs to die, or a part of you that you need to relinquish, the backlash is gonna come, and it's gonna knock you off course, and it'll force you to have to do some re-examination. So it's always gonna be important, that honesty that Sagittarius, I feel like they're able to expend to everybody else. You have to be willing to give that to yourself as well. And so in the Osho Zen deck, the Osho Zen Tarot deck, which I love, I've fallen in love with, it's amazing, we have morality, which I think is the Queen of Swords, but we'll see. Excuse me. Queen of Clouds, yes. Unless awareness arises within you, all your morality is bogus. All your culture is simply a thin layer that can be destroyed by anybody. But once your morality has come out of your awareness, not out of a certain discipline, it is a totally different matter. Then you will respond in every situation out of your awareness. And whatever you do will be good. Awareness cannot do anything that is bad. The ultimate beauty of awareness is that anything that comes out of it is simply beautiful, is simply right, and without any effort and without any practice. So rather than cutting the leaves and the branches, cut the root. And to cut the root, there is a single method. The method of being alert, of being aware, of being conscious. That sums it up beautifully, Sagittarius. So I will just leave it there. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the middle of March. Take care. Peace on your journey, you guys. And I will see you soon. Bye.